You just woke up out of your cryopod, dizzy, starving, and completely naked. Getting yelled commands like put on your clothes and get a weapon. You grab the closest thing to you, a tomahawk, but you couldn't find any clothing. The vessel you're in suddenly stops and you're kicked off the ship. The person that kicked you off the ship tells you need to find a super secret USB with a file named homework. In your confusion, you start looking around, and in the first door you open, you're turned into a buckshot taste tester. Welcome back to Quazimorph, the game where seemingly strong gear, hope, and just the general thought of progression is a combination for failure. Quazimorph has introduced many updates, including base building, many new quality of life upgrades, weapons, items, and even new factions. The problem is getting to those quality of life updates and base building is a bit of a journey, and the parts needed to upgrade your ship are about as common as a good paying job with no downsides. We are in for a painful experience, so let's get started. Of course, we start with a goal, as always. The goal is to complete the Unchained Belt questline, a new questline and faction added in the last update. They are the pirates of the game, and with every other faction being a corporation trying to sell me something, that being maps, weapons, news, or even entertainment, I was thinking it was time to get some booty. As in loot. So I loaded up my first character to assist the Civil Resistance with a level 3 robbery. I would call myself a Robin Hood of sorts. So I went in and I let my shotgun do the talking. Much like any case, buckshot speaks louder than words. With our mission completed, we were rewarded with a bunch of nails for ship construction. I don't know. It was a disappointing reward. Moving forward with a lack of doable missions for the chosen factions, I decided to betray the same faction I just helped by storming into their base with an acid thrower and covering many employees, security, and high-up managers in flesh-eating acid. I would call this Nis Nuwuk, or NSNWC. Of course, standing for No Survivors, No War Crime. There was a contract I took and rewards on the line, and I was going to get those rewards. And it was going great until they put a non-flesh based turret in a room, which ripped right through me, because I was wearing a hazmat suit to protect me from my war crime dispenser. So one of our characters was dead. Luckily for us, all of our characters are clones, and can be killed and thrown right back into combat again and again. But with most of our gear missing, I would go in with a shotgun and no clothing, other than some barely held together pants. Going right back into the mission, we just failed for the wrong faction. Except this time we would not be doing a 1 skull difficulty. For some reason, dying once gave me the confidence to do a 5 skull mission, which was stupid, but at least it was for the right faction. With a few slugs shot and a mostly empty facility cleared, we shockingly complete the 5 skull mission. We were rewarded with 11.5 rep, which is absolutely nothing, and a bunch more nails. With this overabundance of confidence, I thought it was time to do a story mission, which was another 5 skull mission, but it's not like I didn't just do one. Our only instruction was to find a red chip and plug it into the mainframe. The red chip wasn't hard to find at all, because it was on another operative, just in a more unfortunate state. But I had 5 floors to get through, so there was no time to linger on the first floor. Moving to the next floor, I had a nice and orderly meet and greet with a laser rifle causing extreme radiation and torching the entire hallway. Now, we're really down to nothing. So I took any mission I could to get some gear and materials to get me back on my feet. It went about as good as you think, running down icy hallways with a tomahawk, no clothes, and a military base full of men with guns. That's to say, it went bad. Very bad. The next few raids were slow but efficient, getting the job done as well as cashing in on some rewards, like a mercenary that would never be used, or how about more slugs than I could ever use. In any regard, we were getting more wins under our belt. And within a few more successful raids, we had more slugs than we could probably ever use. Our next contract was a mistake, as it was to kill a manager of the very faction I was trying to help, the Unchained Belt. But the contract was taken, so the job needed to be done. Clearing the base was relatively standard until I found a weapon by the name of War Crash. A burst fire shotgun that would absolutely decimate all of my enemies. It was a complete massacre. Getting this weapon gave me the power to absolutely eviscerate anything that I laid my eyes on. Eventually, we found the manager, and he was a bit more of a tank, taking burst after burst of buckshot while bathing in fire. But eventually, he went down, and I enriched myself with his beautiful, shiny armor, it being leaps and bounds better than what I had. With the manager gone, I completed my mission and obtained my first good reward, many grenades and mines for my troubles. Then proceeded to try another story mission after ripping up a military base walking around like the Doom guy. This mission was another 5 skull, but for the Unchained belt, by the name of Ship of Ghouls. This story mission didn't last very long, as not even one step out of my ship, there was 3 guys less than 4 feet away from me and a turret waiting for my arrival. I didn't die to this ambush, but it sure set the tone as I peeked into the next room to get my leg amputated by another turret, causing me to bleed out and lose my best gear. My morale was in shambles as I just watched my goals get ripped away from me by an inanimate, bullet-throwing machine. We were at our lowest, but it wasn't going to stop me from rebuilding. And rebuilding was no fun task. Not because we didn't have a weapon or ammo, but because we had no meds, causing us to die in almost every way possible. That being Quasimorphs, bullets, grenades, hunger, hell, myself. So with any resemblance of a footing back, I sent it straight back to the story mission. It was a stupid idea, but if I could complete it, I would get tons of reputation, giving me better rewards and a better chance to keep going. Sadly, this thought of progress ended the same way this decline started. A turret. So with almost nothing left, I took a pistol, then shot slugs, which we had plenty of, and I went on a 1 skull control mission, the easiest missions to do in the whole game. Because there was no surprises, no random enemies, you just go to the objective and you wait for the enemies to come. So we start the mission, and at the first objective, I take out an enemy and pick up his armor. Protection acquired. At the second objective, it was going fine until a robot rounded the corner and hit me in the leg, causing me to need a bandage. I used one of the ripped up rags off of the fresh bodies I just added to the ship. This immediately gave me an infection, and I had no cure. This is where things started to go bad, because the mission type was effectively a waiting game. And I don't have time, because each turn that passes, the infection gets closer and closer to 100%. Additionally, I get more and more hungry until I starve to death. Everything was stacked against us, and by the time the first enemy arrived at the last objective, the infection was already at 100%. Now I'm taking 1 damage per turn, meaning I have 96 turns to live. The remaining enemies for the last objective were no problem to deal with, so we could now leave. Finally, we could get a win, and with luck on our side, the infection had stopped. But you know what they say, when one door closes, another door opens, and that door was starvation, causing us to once again take 1 damage per turn. Also, our exit is nowhere to be found. It's not marked on the map, I just have to guess. So over the course of the next 29 turns, oh wait, I just found an extra 10 life. 39 turns, I'm another dead body added to the ship. I didn't think it was possible in a game like this, but I don't have any materials to continue. So, I guess I lost. We took 2 steps forward and 19 steps back. I'm not exactly sure how I was supposed to get out of this situation or even progress in the first place with these unbeatable odds. However, this is where we lie. A broken, destroyed, private mercenary company with absolutely nothing to their name, so we would just get taken off the map. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about this video, it didn't turn out how I wished. I think it's just the game itself, or maybe my mindset while trying to form a video around it. Nevertheless, thank you everyone that voted on the poll, and I'll make sure the next video is a banger. Much love to you all, and Happy New Year.